Welcome to the symbol library. This is, we're going to go through the definitions of the symbol library of the various symbols that you might see in a dream, in a vision, a moment of clairvoyance, or if you're out there in the world looking at what does that setting tell you about that corporation or that family or that town or that whatever it is you happen to be looking at, that organization. So we're going to start. We're going to go from A to Z and just kind of give you the definitions of how do you interpret that symbol when you see it in a dream, when you experience it in a dream. The first word in our symbol library is the word abortion. And abortion, when that word comes up in a dream or a vision, that typically signifies the end of a project, the end of a dream, the end of some part of your life, the end of an idea. So it can also obviously mean a destructive mess, and that something is stopped prematurely. So that's when you see abortion. Africa is the next word. A dark continent or area, one's shadow side, a foreign or unknown culture or person. For a lot of people born in the West, Africa is the dark continent. It's the mysterious continent. And it doesn't mean that it's dark and that it's bad. It just means that we don't know a whole lot. And that is, for that reason, the mysterious continent, the dark continent. When you see that, unless you have a specific word or specific interpretation, you've thought about what does Africa mean to me when I see it, then be aware that it can mean the common understanding of a lot of humanity. Of course, if you're from Africa, it can symbolize the homeland. Okay? So the next word is airplane. And airplane is the symbol of a vehicle to get above the daily grind. It provides a much wider view. When you're up in an airplane, you have a big plane of viewing, a big landscape, and the horizon is pretty amazing. Aliens as in E.T., aliens. So, but not necessarily ETs. It can be somebody who is a foreigner in your country, okay? That is also an alien. And what it symbolizes is someone or something unfamiliar, someone viewed as drastically different, or someone who doesn't fit in the setting that they appear in. They appear to be very unnatural given that setting, okay? So if you were at the beach in your dream and an Eskimo appears dressed in full Eskimo gear, parka and all that, it would kind of look like an alien or foreign event or person. So, okay. Anchor, an anchor like you put on a boat. It holds something steady. It holds things in place, keeps them from drifting. So that's anchor. Ant, little tiny ant, A-N-T, means a small issue. It's not a big issue. It's not a big deal. And it's something small, but it has a bite. So keep that in mind when you see an ant in your dream. Lots of ants, you're dealing with a lot of small issues, but they all have a little sting to them. Okay? The next is apartment. Apartment, a place apart. In other words, a place to keep yourself separate from everybody else, to stay detached, a place of separation. The next one is arm, like arm. It has a couple different meanings. One is a tool for holding or manipulating something. That's what we use our arms for. It also can be a position of defensiveness, to be armed. Somebody with a lot of, shows up in a dream with 6 arms. That can mean that they have hidden weapons or hidden skill sets, as in martial arts, that they use their arms for. Attic, the next one is attic, A-T-T-I-C, and that symbolizes a storage area. It also symbolizes memory, stuff stored in the attic of your mind. It's not stuff you use every day. It also symbolizes ancestral history. What did your grandparents, great-grandparents, and ancestors do? How did they think? How did they feel? How did they live? So it can be pointing to that. An attic is a place that holds things no longer needed or relevant, but they're not things you want to get rid of typically. Okay. The next one is aunt, A-U-N-T, symbolizing the female relative with X personality. So let's say you have an aunt, Debbie, and she is just a bright and cheerful person. She's full of what grandma would call piss and vinegar. She's got a nice approach to living. She's always friendly, in a good mood, etc. So then let's say you have an aunt who is Aunt Susie. We'll say Aunt Susie. And Susie's always depressed, always sick, always crabby, always distrusting, always got some kind of drama going. When you dream about either Aunt Debbie or Aunt Susie, what you're actually doing is giving yourself a message about their personality being somehow involved in your life. Either you are being like them, or somebody you're dealing with is being like them, or you are dealing with people the way Aunt Debbie does, or the way Aunt Susie does, or whatever the aunt is like. Okay? The next one, this starts in the B's, is baby. And that symbolizes a new life. Pretty obvious. It can also symbolize a pet project or some idea. That's my baby. That's my project. That kind of thing. When I'm working on a book, typically that's my baby for that time. Needs a lot of care, a lot of attention, takes a lot of time. So that's baby. The next one is bacon. And bacon symbolizes income. It also symbolizes food. There's a couple of other really kind of not very frequently seen meanings that have to do with being at a loss. You are at bay, con. You've been fooled into believing something that leaves you with nowhere to go, con. So that's bacon, but mostly it means food. Okay. Next, we have balloon, and that's balloon is pretty easy. Someone, it symbolizes someone who is full of hot air, full of air. In other words, no substance. Okay. It also is something that it symbolizes. Let's say you are having a dream and you dream about some project or some task that you have to address, and all of a sudden there's balloons everywhere. That symbolizes that the project expands tremendously. It gets out of control. It expands drastically. Balloons are also fragile. One poke and poof, they disappear. And they are easily deflated. So those are all the meanings of the balloon. The next one is bank. And the bank, of course, B-A-N-K, is a place where money is kept. So the bank is something to depend on. People will say, can I bank on that? In other words, can I count on that? And then to bank means to turn away slowly. Big rounded turns, not a sharp off in a new direction. So bank, depending on the context of the dream, can mean any of those things. The next one, barn, B-A-R-N, that symbolizes animal consciousness. It also symbolizes uninhibited sexuality. Okay? It symbolizes a simpler way of life and a very crude shelter. Okay? That's a barn. Animal consciousness, uninhibited sexuality. Anybody who's ever raised animals knows about that. And then it also means something that you can depend on or to turn away slowly, do a slow bank off to the starboard on a ship, for instance. Next one is basement. A basement symbolizes foundation. It's a foundation that many houses or buildings sit on. It can symbolize the beginning of a project. It also let's say you have a dream in which you find yourself in a basement with somebody that you're uncomfortable with. That means that they are doing stuff that is not above board. They're below ground. There's hidden stuff. And then, and it also, basement means that it's below grade. In other words, you're capable of more. Okay? I hope all that makes sense. The next one is basket, B-A-S-K-E-T. A basket holds things, but oh, it's very porous. Very porous. It's a tool for hand carrying something, usually something precious. And a basket also symbolizes being in the limelight. You're in the basket. Okay? So holds things, but very porous. In other words, if you're carrying a basket and let's say in your dream and it's full of money, you can get to the destination you're trying to get to and discover there's no money in the basket. It all leaked out. And that symbolizes that whatever you're doing, you're not paying attention to the financial leakage that's going on. Okay? The next one is bathing suit. A bathing suit usually advises caution. So it indicates caution when making a deal or entering a situation. Okay? Why? Because you don't want to take a bath on that deal. It symbolizes being dressed for tears or dressed for loss. Not a good thing. It can be inappropriate wear, depending on the situation. So if you're going into a business meeting and all you've got on is a bathing suit in that dream, you're not ready for that meeting. You are not appropriate. You're not properly dressed. So that's going to turn people off right away. Next, bathroom. A bathroom, we all know, is a place to eliminate things. So if you're in a bathroom in your dreams, it indicates a need to clean up your behavior, eliminate something, clean up your ideas, clean up your situation, etc. Time for cleanup. If you're in the bathtub, watch out. You're taking a bath. You're getting taken advantage of. Okay? If you're in the bathroom, there's another set of meanings. It similar means you're going to face a loss, or you are in the process of letting go of something that either is or was very important to you, or some way that you used to be. Lots of people, when they start waking up, when their consciousness begins to wake up, they have a lot of dreams about being on the toilet or in the bathroom, or that the toilet is overflowing, which typically indicates that they are letting go of who they were. They're changing faster than they can even get rid of all of it, faster than they can even adopt or adapt to the changes that they're making. So sometimes it gets a little messy. Okay. The last one on page 1 is beach. And the beach symbolizes no longer afloat, washed up. You're washed up. You're done. So it can symbolize a place to relax. But if all of the other indicators in the dream, all the other symbols, are not about relaxation and vacation and enjoyment and et cetera, then you have to look at, what is this telling me about where I'm at in life right now? When you are washed up in one department, one area of life, or one phase of life, it's time to rethink. It's time to regenerate yourself. It's time to become someone new. So that's the end of page 1. Page 2 starts with the word beans. And beans typically symbolize something that's not worth very much. You know, got a handful of beans. It also symbolizes gassy, hot air. I'll let you figure out what that refers to. The beans may be worth something, but not without a lot of work and a lot of time going by. For instance, if they have to be planted, you got to wait for them to germinate. You got to wait for them to grow. You have to wait for them to reach maturity, put out flowers, put out beans. Finally, you get something to eat. So that's beans. A bed. A bed is a place to be asleep. And that says, you're walking in your sleep, or you are asleep to some situation indicated in the dream or the vision. It also symbolizes the structure of your life. You've heard the little phrase, you made your bed, now you sleep in it. That's what that refers to. The bed, whatever's going on in or around that bed, indicates this is what you've created. This is the bed you've made for yourself, and it may need to be remade. Okay? The bedroom, that symbolizes a private place, a space for sleeping. And it also has a lot of sexual overtones. Stuff goes on in the bedroom, people make love, so there's a lot of sex that happens in bedrooms. So it can refer to that as well, depending on what the rest of the dream or vision is telling you. So bedroom slippers, that indicates sexual activity that is slipping or slowing. Okay? If you're wearing bedroom slippers, something's not working in the bedroom. And usually, if it's not working in the bedroom, it's because it's not working between the two of you. Okay? Something needs to be restarted or regenerated there. The next one is beer. Like you drink a beer. Beer, listen to the sound. Beer. So it's a drink that allows you to be yourself. You are a beer. Beer. Okay. It's also a drink. It symbolizes a drink that clouds perception or loosens you up, sometimes inappropriately. So that's all of that is beer. Bicycle. A bicycle, that's a very important symbol because it symbolizes the need for constant balance. If you have dreams in which you are riding bicycles a lot, that means you're under stress to have to navigate very, very carefully in balance, if you stop moving, you're going to fall over and get hurt. So bicycles are all about balance. They also are about repeating cycles, bicycles. Second time we've been around this wheel kind of thing. So bicycle is very, very important. The next word is birth, B-I-R-T-H. And just like you would think, it symbolizes new life, new start, new idea, a beginning. Yeah. So, and the rest of the dream or vision will kind of tell you what that refers to. Black is the next one. Black is a wonderful symbol. It's the symbol or the source of all creation. It's the color of the void. Everything comes out of that black void, that black ocean of light that we can't see. So it's the symbol of source of all creation. It's the color of the creative void. And if the dream or vision indicates something that's very contemporary, that it can mean evil or bad. Also something very hidden, deliberately hidden. It's black. It can't be seen. There's no light around it. The next one, blender. Blender symbolizes a very deliberate mix-up, to mix violently, deliberate tangling. And it also indicates losing your identity. When you put vegetables or fruit in the blender and turn it on, boom, their identity is gone in a few seconds. They are a blended drink, another state of being in many ways. And so when you are working with a blender in your dream, be careful. Don't lose your identity. The next one is blue, the color blue, and it symbolizes sadness, being depressed, and that's on the one hand, sadness or depressed. On the other hand, it can mean, depending on on the shade of blue, it can mean calm. It can mean very, very cool and calm, collected, a little bit of detachment. The next one is bored, B-O-A-R-D, and that symbolizes bored with life. Bored, B-O-R-E-D, with life, bored with life. It also symbolizes food to sustain you. If somebody says, I can offer you room and board, what they're offering you is a place to sleep and something to eat, food. So it also is supply. Boards are supplies for new construction. If you find yourself in some dream hauling or dragging a bunch of boards, 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, plywood, whatever, you're building something new. Okay. A boat, B-O-A-T, symbolizes a vehicle used on unsteady, unsolid, or in unsteady, unsolid environments. Water is not something you can stand on. Okay, so you need a boat. You need this vehicle to keep you from drowning, to keep you, give you a sense of being steady and solid, and having something solid to stand on. Boat also symbolizes something used to stay afloat. You know, back in the day when I was almost losing my place over and over again, right after my divorce, I had dream after dream that I was in this boat and the water wasn't very deep, but it said a lot. It's like, I don't have anything steady that I can stand on. I had spent all my time taking care of my mother, and that left my finances really, really unsteady. So a boat is also a way of transporting oneself through deep emotions Emotions, water symbolizes emotion. So if you dream that you are in the water or in a boat on the water, then you are trying to navigate some pretty heavy emotions. So all of those things, you know, something used to keep you afloat, something used to transport yourself through deep emotions, and something that provides at least a temporary sense of steadiness and solid, something solid to stand on. Okay. The next one is body, B-O-D-Y. It's a vehicle for consciousness to use in a reality system. Let me say that again. The body symbolizes the vehicle for consciousness to use in a reality system. If you don't have a body to use here, you're probably not going to get very much attention. People won't see you. They won't know that you're even here. Okay, next one is book, B-O-O-K. A book symbolizes knowledge, information. It also symbolizes the book of your life, the story of your life. And it symbolizes sometimes something you need to read or be aware of. Sometimes a book complete with title and author will appear in your dream or vision. That's for you to follow up on. Don't skip that. They're typically, you only get those kinds of messages when they're really important. That's book. The next one is boots. Boots are worn to get heavy work done. So when you have a dream that is all about heavy work, or you're wearing boots in that dream, it symbolizes that whatever it is you're doing in that dream, or what the rest of the context is, more work than you counted on. Heavy work. The next one is boss, B-O-S-S, and it just symbolizes an authority figure. And I would also add that we've all had jobs in our life where we had this or that boss. Sometimes that boss will appear in a dream, and that symbolizes an authority figure. So you may refer to in the dream or the vision as, I have this vision of my old boss. You know, that's you understanding that whatever the message is, whatever the authority in that dream needs to be, there's a message there for you. Okay? The next word is bowl, B-O-W-L. And it just simply means a convex container. Okay, it's not flat, it's convex. So when you have a convex container, that means everything is going to sink to the bottom. Okay. Also, it symbolizes a curving path. It symbolizes to knock down obstacles or goals, bowl them over. It symbolizes making an impression. You know, wow, he bowled me over with his ideas, that kind of thing. So that's bowl. The next one is bra, something women wear, bra, B-R-A. It's support. It symbolizes support for love and nurturing. Support for sustenance. Bras you wear on the breast. The breast is a source of nurturing. It's a source of love. And so if you are in a dream in which you're wearing a bra, even if you're male, I have heard that before, it symbolizes that you're trying to find a way to support your own way of nurturing, your own way of loving. Don't get excited and think you're becoming transvestite or whatever. It's symbolism, okay? Brain is the next one, B-R-A-I-N. And a brain is simply a transmitter and receiver of information. That's it. It's a symbol of intelligence. Brain, symbol of intelligence and information. The next one is bread, B-R-E-A-D. And that symbolizes food. It symbolizes money. A lot of people talk about need to go make some bread. That they're talking about making money. And it also, if you listen to the sound, B-R-E-A-D, sounds just like B-R-E-D, bread. It means to conceive, to come up with some idea that feeds you. Okay? Next word is bridge, B-R-I-D-G-E. And the bridge is exactly what you would think, a connecting link, a transition to cross over from one side or one idea or one stand position to another. So, and it's a bridge symbolizes a way of becoming someone new, or that you are becoming someone new. We build these other selves and then we bridge to them until we can become that new self 100%. So that's a bridge. Sometimes you'll see, you'll be in a dream and you'll be looking out across these broad, flat plains, like you're in the middle of the United States, in one of the plains states. And it symbolizes simplicity. Nothing there. No characteristics of interest. Okay? It also symbolizes a landscape that looks pretty flat. No obstacles. Okay? So those broad, flat plains can indicate something that's really simple and almost boring. However, it also indicates something that is very, easy to get across. There's no obstacles. Okay. The last one on page 2 is brother. And brother is a sibling, symbolizes a sibling, part of the male self. If you have a brother, you may dream about your brother. And what that typically says is you're either dealing with somebody who's just like your brother, or you are responding to a situation in the way that your brother would respond. So, and it also symbolizes somebody dear to you, somebody that you care about. Okay? So that's the end of page 1 and 2. So the first word on page 3 is the color brown, B-R-O-W-N. Brown has some really hefty indications involving business, being practical. It's a color that says, I'm here to get stuff done. I'm not trying to get attention. I'm not trying to be flashy. I'm not trying to, make a big impression. I'm just here to get something done. So it also, brown symbolizes the three-dimensional existence. And it also symbolizes frustration, being very frustrated. Sometimes you'll hear people say, I had a moment where I just browned out. In other words, they almost had a meltdown. Like your refrigerator will brown out sometimes when there's not enough power, enough electricity, that kind of thing. So brown symbolizes that same thing in the human. Bud is the next one, B-U-D, and it symbolizes potential. There's some kind of development in progress. It is at the bud stage, ready to open and flower. The next word is bus, B-U-S. And that's when you have a bus in your dream, or you're riding a bus in your vision or whatever, you need to pay attention to the fact that someone or something else is in control of where you are going. You are not in the driver's seat. That's a bus. You're on the bus. You're riding the bus. And you're going to go wherever it goes. The next one is bush, B-U-S-H. Bush symbolizes low growth. A bush is not something tall like a tree. It's typically very low to the ground, so it symbolizes low growth. It also symbolizes a wild area, like something that's uncultivated. It's bushy. It's it doesn't have any other designation other than bush. So next word is cabin, C-A-B-I-N, and it symbolizes a simple life, just like you would think. Old-fashioned lifestyle. It's also indicating that you're in a situation that's kind of primitive. And it also symbolizes vacation from work life. So needing a vacation or on vacation from work life or needing to take a vacation from something that you've been dealing with that's maybe driving you nuts or whatever. The next word is cactus, C-A-C-T-U-S, and it symbolizes prickly. We all know prickly people. It doesn't matter what you say to them, they come back with some kind of crabby answer. So it also symbolizes crabby, prickly and crabby people, or prickly and crabby situations. So cactus means someone or something that can take the heat and still survive. So, that's cactus usually grows in the desert. It's hot. And they have figured out how to survive, how to take that heat and survive. So that's the other meaning of cactus. When you dream you're in the desert and you are with the cactus, you're either in a very prickly situation with really tough people to work with, or it's a message that says, keep going. You're doing well. You're hanging in there. You're taking the heat. You'll be okay. The next word is cage, C-A-G-E, and it just symbolizes entrapment, bondage. You got yourself into a situation that wasn't transparent, and now maybe the cage is closing, or it's a warning that you're stepping into a situation where there's no transparency, and you're going to end up caught in something you don't want to be caught in. So that's cage. Camera is the next one, C-A-M-E-R-A. And a camera is used typically in a dream to get you to pay attention to something. A camera is used for getting a picture of something or someone or some situation. It's a snapshot in time of what am I dealing with here. So it's cameras, when you are using a camera in a dream or a vision, then that's the message is, wait a minute, stop, take a good look, take a snapshot and examine that to see where are you at, what are you really dealing with. Okay. Campfire is the next word, C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E. And campfire typically means passionate about something that's going to turn out to be very temporary. Camp is not a place where we live. It's a place where you're temporarily camped out. Fire is passion. So to have a campfire in your dream is to indicate to you that you're being very passionate about something and it's going to change. Maybe a lot. Okay. Camping, very similar. Camping means a temporary place to stay. It's not a permanent place. Okay. Cancer. A lot of people freak out when they see in a dream that they have cancer. Cancer symbolizes uncontrolled growth. Okay. It can mean something life-threatening or lifestyle-threatening, but typically it means that you're in a period of rapid growth, and it may take you to places that you didn't expect. When you have a dream about cancer, I always tell people, check yourself out physically, check yourself out. But most often what that indicates is that you are changing rapidly in a sort of an uncontrolled way. And that, if you're married, if you have children, if you have family, if you're working in a corporation and you have an important role in some department, watch out. You're going to upset people typically. Okay. The next one is car, C-A-R. And the car is a vehicle representing the body. The car is simply a means of moving forward. Okay. Usually quickly. It's a lot less effort, saves time, saves energy. Car is a vehicle for moving forward, saving time and energy. Okay. Carpeting is the next one. Carpeting that we put on the floor, C-A-R-P-E-T-I-N-G. It covers up many flaws in the basic premise of something. So when you see carpeting in a dream and it's thick and plush, you need to look underneath that carpeting. Or it's going up the walls. That says that there's a lot of hidden factors that are at work that are deliberately being covered up. That's carpeting. The next word is castle. Castle symbolizes grand living. Grand living. Impractical or outdated structures. That's a castle. They're not very practical. They are impressive, yes, but that's about it. The next is cat or kitten. Cat usually symbolizes the feminine side of life. If it's a kitten, that symbolizes someone very feminine, very playful. It also symbolizes sexuality. And the word, I don't even want to say it on camera, it's P-U-S-S-Y, pussycat. Okay, that's where the sexual angle comes in. So that's cats and kittens also indicate independence, almost right from the get-go, very independent. Don't need a lot of watching over, taking care. Okay. A cave, C-A-V-E. If you're in a cave in a dream, that indicates that you are giving in or collapsing your position on something. Be careful. Maybe that's a good thing. Sometimes it indicates that you need to cave. You need to give in. There's no point in fighting over something that has lost its meaning or that isn't going to get you where you want to go long term. It also, a cave is an ancient symbolism. It means a place to be reborn. And it's a place of solitude or hiding, a place where consciousness can expand outward. Because as soon as you put walls around consciousness, it's like, okay, I've examined every inch of this cave. At that point, you expand beyond that. You expand consciousness. So a cave is a place from which to expand consciousness. And you hear stories all the time about yogis and people who go up in the mountains and live in a cave for a while. And then they'll have this mind-blowing experience, and they come down and work in the population. So that's a cave. The cave is also the symbol of the uterus, the female uterus. So it's a small, dark cave inside the feminine body that gives birth to something new. The next word is cavity, C-A-V-I-T-Y, and it basically has a couple different meanings. A defect in a structure or plan, or a gap in a structure or a plan. This plan has a big cavity in it. What are you going to do about this? Or what are you going to do about that? If it involves teeth, it's a warning to take care of your teeth. If it involves teeth that have cavities and you literally see them in the dream or in the vision, that says that what you're speaking isn't building anything. It's kind of rotten. Watch your language. We'll say more on that when we get to the word teeth. So the next word is cell phone. CELLPHONE, a communication device. It's a device for picking up messages. It's also a message to sell something. Listen to the word cell phone. Okay, phones give you messages. The message is to sell something. If in the dream you're on the phone, on your cell phone, and you're talking about what to do with your house or your car or your boat or your whatever, that may mean right there, consider selling, okay? A cell phone is also symbolic of a confinement in one's life and rituals. You're trapped by that cell phone, by that device. You're in the cell. You're like a prisoner in a cell, okay? So the communication device, a message to sell something, and confinement in one's life and rituals, okay? Next word is chair, CHAIR, and it's basically symbolizes support. Support for staying where you are. A place to sit and take no action. Okay? A lot of people wondering, where can I go? Where should I go? If you have a dream that you're sitting in a chair, that's typically a message that says, sit down, sit still, hold still, don't go anywhere. Just sit, wait and watch. Okay? Next word is checkbook. You know, financial checkbook. It's an item used to give out money. Okay? An item used to give out money. You write a check, you give away money to somebody or something, you pay your bills, you pay your employees, you pay your, your kid an allowance or whatever. So it's also a message to check your life to see if it is in balance. Checkbook has to be reconciled regularly. Check the book of your life to see, are we in balance? Are we overdrawn? Etc. Okay? Checkered, as in a checkered shirt or checkered tablecloth. Checkered is a symbol of something is not solid. It's checkered. It also symbolizes an unconventional past or an unconventional history. And it frequently indicates that somebody is going to be unable to carry through with something, with a deal, with an agreement, with a way of behaving, etc. Their attention is all over the place. They're making moves all over the place. So watch out. That's checkered. Chicken is the next one. You know, chicken like bop, bop, bop. That means afraid, just like you would think. Afraid or cowardly. It's also a bird that doesn't fly very well. The chicken will kind of fly, but only for a very short distance, and then it kind of crash lands. So if you're dealing with a chicken and you see it fly and crash, then something that you're doing is probably going to crash soon. Okay? So that's the end of page 3.